Welcome to this video lecture on the topics choice of specific loadings, stator winding design, stator core design and length of air gap from third unit design of induction motors in the subject design of electrical apparatus. In the last video we have discussed the output equation and main dimension of induction motors. So the output equation of induction motor is proportional to four parameters: specific electric loading, specific magnetic loading, volume of active parts of the machine, main dimension D and L, D square L, and then the speed of the motor. And the specific electric loading and specific magnetic loading values for induction motor are specified. Specific electric loading in the range of 5000 to 45,000 ampere conductors per meter, and specific magnetic loading V average lies between 0.3 to 0.6 Webers per meter square. Whenever a large overload capacity is required, 0.65 Webers per meter square will be preferred. And then this choice of electric loading depends upon the copper loss, because it is current. So current will produce copper losses. Current through the conductor will produce copper loss, and so the temperature rise will be there in the machine. And in turn, this temperature rise will depends upon the voltage rating of the machine and overload capacity of the machine. Current rating will decide the overload capacity, and this temperature rise will depends upon the voltage rating of the machine. So these are the factors we have to consider while choosing the specific electric loading value. And specific magnetic loading depends upon, it is magnetic circuit, so power factor, iron loss and overload capacity. So the choice of specific electric loading, so larger value of AC results in higher copper losses because it gives larger current, so larger copper loss and higher temperature rise. So machine with higher voltage rating, smaller value of AC should be preferred, because the high voltage machines, the insulation required will be more. So for that, the number of conductors should be lesser, so that the AC, that is the smaller value of specific electric loading, should be chosen for high voltage machines with respect to this insulation point of view. And for higher overload capacity, again the lower value of AC should be selected, so that will reduces the leakage reactance and will result in reduced overload capacity. So for both higher voltage machines and for higher overload capacity, the value of specific electric loading should be lesser. And while choosing the specific magnetic loading, so it is depends upon the magnetizing current. So if larger the value of B average, more magnetizing current will be drawn from the source. So that will result in poor power factor, because it is purely lagging current to produce the magnetic flux in the machine. So that will result in poor power factor. So induction motors, the flux density in the air gap should be such that there is no any saturation also. So if flux density is more, that will saturation will occur in the magnetic circuit. So that also should be avoided. So for that, we have to prefer lesser value of V average to improve the power factor as well as to reduce the saturation probability in the machine. Then a larger value of, again the larger value of V average results in increased iron losses and decreased efficiency. Losses are increased so that the efficiency will decrease. But one advantage of increased value of this V average is higher value of overload capacity. But if B average is more, magnetizing current will be more and the power factor of the machine will be lesser. So there has to be a justification you have to make between the power factor and overload capacity of the machine while choosing the value of specific magnetic load. The main dimensions already we have discussed in the previous video lecture. We have found out d square L, and this d and L from this d square L term will be separated out based upon the values of L by tau ratio for different criteria in the machine: minimum cost, good power factor, good efficiency, good overall design, and for best power factor. So we are having the values between L by tau. Here the tau value is given. Tau again it is pi d by p. So we will be getting the relationship between d and L. And then that will be substituted in d square L term to separate out d and L, main dimension of induction motor. And this diameter will depends upon the speed of the machine. The range of speed that is for high speed applications, so it can be from 50 meters per second to 75 meters per second, but for normal design this 30 meters per second is the conventional value for induction motor design. And the length, suppose if length is more, we will be providing the radial ventilating ducts in between the core length, so that suppose if core length exceeds 125 meters, we will be having ventilating ducts of 8 to 10 meter width, so in between the core length along the axial length of the machine. So this is about the choice of specific electric loading and specific magnetic loading. So the next topic we are going to discuss about the stator winding design and stator core design, and finally the air gap length in this video lecture. So that stator winding design. So stator winding design includes to calculate the stator turns per phase and area of cross section of the stator conductors. With respect to winding is considered for small machines, single layer winding like mesh winding will be used in the motor. But for high capacity machine, this double layer winding, either lap winding or wave winding, as in case of DC machines, will be employed here. And so first parameter with respect to stator winding is to calculate the total number of turns from the EMF equation of the machine. So here this is the conventional EMF equation of any AC machine. So here this ES is the stator phase voltage. So that will be specified in the problem. So from this we can calculate the stator turns per phase TS. If this KWS, that is stator winding factor, is not specified in the problem, we will be assuming a value of 0.955 for this stator winding factor. So from this EMF equation, we are calculating the total number of turns per phase and length of mean turn. So each turn will be having two conductors. The conductor length will be equal to the length of the machine, main dimension length. So it is 2 times of length, because at each turn will be having 2 conductor side. So that is 2L, and then so this empirical relationship we are using. So it is 2.3 tau and 0.24 will be used here. Already the values of L and tau are known to us, because we have already calculated the main dimension T and L. So this tau is pi d by p. So this tau we can calculate, and we can substitute it over here to calculate the length of mean turn of the stator winding. And finally the stator conductor area of cross section we have to calculate. So area of cross section of the conductor is Is by delta S. Delta is the current density of the stator conductors. So that value will be assumed between 3 to 5 ampere per mm square. So this delta S is known to us. Then we will be calculating the stator current from this kVA rating of the machine, that is 3 ES in 10 to the power minus 3 for a 3-phase machine kVA rating. So from this we will be calculating IS, and that will be substituted over here, so that we can calculate this area of cross section of the stator winding. And all the stator conductors, okay, area of cross section of stator conductor is a circular conductor or round conductor we will be using. So the diameter of the conductor can be calculated from this pi r square is the area of cross section of any round conductor. So it is in terms of D, it is D by 2. So it is d square by 4. So pi ds square by 4 is the area of cross section. So from this we can calculate the diameter of the conductor. So if diameter is more than 2 to 3 mm, then bar or strip conductor will be used, because if diameter is more, that cannot be accommodated in the slots. Because if slot area is more, then tooth width will be reduced. Tooth flex density should not be exceeded certain values. So for that, tooth width should be somewhat higher. And so to avoid to allow some desired value of tooth width, the slot width will be lesser. So if slot width is lesser, then this area of cross section of the slot will be lesser, so that we cannot accommodate if diameter of the conductor is more, that is if it is more than 2 to 3 mm, then we will be employing a bar conductor only. Rectangular conductor will be employed. So this is about the stator winding design. So in the stator winding design, we have designed to calculate the total number of turns per phase, area of cross section, then length of mean turn of the winding, then area of cross section of the conductor, and from that we have calculated the diameter of the conductor. And then is the stator core design. Core will be having stator slot and tooth, and stator slot, so either it is semi enclosed slot or it is an open slot. So if it is an open slot, the slot will be of square or rectangular in construction. So if slot is rectangular, then this tooth will be tapered. And so this is about the open slot machine. Suppose if the slot is semi-enclosed, then the slot will be of tapered, and so the tooth will be of parallel sided. So here parallel sided tooth and the slot is tapered, but in open slot machine, slot is parallel sided, but the tooth is tapered in construction. Then the choice of stator slot will depends upon two parameters, that is stator slot pitch. The range will be between 15 to 25 mm. So this is the equation to calculate the stator slot pitch, that is pi d by SS. This SS is the total number of stator slot, YS is the stator slot pitch. So from this we will be calculating the total number of stator slots, and then we will be calculating the total number of conductors from this turns equation. So 2 times of turns per phase is the total number of conductors. It is a 3-phase machine. So total number of conductors ZS is 6 into TS, and conductors per slot is total number of conductors per total number of slots. So total number of conductors is 6 TS by total number of slots is SS. So from this we can calculate conductors per slot is at SS. So it should be even for a double layer winding, because in a induction motor mostly we are using this double layer winding, so it should be a even number. So this is the only criteria we are checking, and another criteria based upon the slots per pole per phase Q, and that Q we will be assuming 2, 3, 4 etc. We will be calculating the total number of slots, because Q is slots per pole per phase. Pole and phase will be given in the problem, so from that we can calculate the stator slots for different values of Q. And then if this value is getting matched within the range of this stator slot pitch, we will be choosing that particular stator slots. And finally we will be verifying whether that chosen total number of slots and conductors per slot satisfying the slot loading. Slot loading is conductors per slot multiplied with the total the current through each conductor and total number of conductors per slot. So if the slot loading criteria is satisfied, we will be finalizing that is the total number of slots in the stator of this induction motor. And then we will be calculating the slot dimension. Slot dimension includes this slot width and tooth width. Slot width should not exceed it. Slot width we will be calculating by calculating the area of the slot, and by assuming the slot space factor, and copper area per conductor, that includes width and depth. The depth we will be assuming between 3 and 6, and then we will be calculating the slot width, and then we will be calculating the tooth width. And tooth flex density should not exceed 1.7 reverse per meter square. So from that we will be calculating this stator tooth width also. So minimum tooth width we are calculating from flex and flex density value. Flex is known, flex density is 1.7. So from this we are calculating minimum tooth width of the stator. So with this we have completed the stator winding design and stator core design. Thank you.